Well, good evening. It is the starting five live, and I got my friend, co-host, Mr. Corey. How you doing, Mr. Corey?
I'm doing okay, Mr. Brian. How are you tonight?
Hey, I can't complain. I can't complain. I just celebrated a birthday and a wedding anniversary in the same week, so it's been
Congratulations.
it's well, thank you, I appreciate that. It's been fun, and I've noticed that there's been a little bit of action in the NBA, regardless of the action that's occurred in my bedroom. Oh, ooh, hey, ooh, okay.
I was going to ask what you did for your birthday, but I think I got enough
Yeah,
information from your anniversary.
you probably did. Like I said, it was a good week for a lot of people.
Not so good for others.
Yeah. So, what's on your agenda? What's on your mind? What do you want to talk about?
It's a good question. Always a good place to start. Maybe we can go. Let's go chronologically. And I believe the NBA draft um, got off before. No, I guess the trades kind of started before the NBA draft, right? We saw some people moving
There
around
were
in the NBA.
Yeah,
Yeah,
couple moves
right.
happened.
It's been a couple of. I mean, there's been two. I guess two, three big ones, maybe. Say three big ones,
Um,
right?
yeah, yes, yeah, I guess, yeah.
Three big
I mean,
ones. One of them kind of included the same person.
it depends on what like how big you think it is.
All
Like
right,
how it really impacts the team. It might
all
be
right.
big for regular ballers, but it
Mm-hmm.
might
Mm-hmm.
not really be that big.
Well, let's. You want to start with Chris Paul going to the Wizards, or Bradley Beal going to Phoenix? More importantly,
And
and how do you feel?
you definitely messed that up though.
Yeah,
Because
yeah. Well,
Chris Paul went to the Sun, or
Chris Paul went.
now
Well,
you
Chris
got me to
Paul.
the
Yeah.
Warriors.
Well, Chris Paul went. Well, Bradley Beal had to get to Phoenix first,
Yeah,
right?
correct. Yep.
So it's more important that Beal went to Phoenix, I guess, in this scenario. What do you think about Bradley Beal on Phoenix? How do you think he fits? Or
I'm to be honest, I actually I think it's a good. I don't want to say it's a good fit,
mm-hmm.
but I've noticed Kevin Durant with these like quote unquote super teams.
Yeah,
He tries to make it work.
yeah,
He does. Like,
mm-hmm.
think about it. When he was with the Warriors for the 2 years or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
he made it work because they had studs over there, and which that are still there.
Right.
So he was able to somehow finesse his game and pull off, an NBA Finals award.
Mm-hmm. MVP. I think he was MVP for them in
Yeah,
those
NBA.
series.
So it's like Bradley Beal should work with D Book
Mm-hmm.
and KD.
Yeah, I agree. I think I.
However,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
however, now they have a problem though. Like they can't just have that three-headed monster, because
Right.
those are like guards at the end of the day.
Right.
Who do you have at your center position? Are they keeping
Right.
DeAndre
What's going
Ayton,
on there? Mm-hmm.
or are they letting him go?
Right. Good question.
So
Mm-hmm.
with that being said, a good trade,
Mm-hmm.
but is it a great trade?
Does it change their outlook from what they would have been if they kept their core intact?
Right now with DeAndre Ayton still being there,
Mm-hmm.
they could possibly be somebody to mess with.
Mm-hmm.
However, DeAndre Ayton, he had issues with the team. I
Something
think more
happened.
so with the old coach.
Yeah, something definitely happened.
However, the old coach isn't there
Coach is
anymore.
home. Right.
So what are we doing? Is DeAndre Ayton happy now, or is he not happy? That's what we have to
Right.
figure out.
Right. Or do they want to move forward with Aiden on that team?
I mean, me personally, if I'm in management,
Mm-hmm.
because I think they hired Mr. Dunleavy.
No, Frank Vogel.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Frank Vogel.
Yeah.
Dunleavy's Warriors.
Warriors. Yeah.
Yeah. So now they got Frank Vogel running that ship.
Hmm.
Um. I mean,
But it's also
Payton.
interesting too because if you got Frank Vogel running that ship, what was that team in Indiana? What was their like identity, and what was the identity that he was trying to go with in LA? And what should be the
Exactly.
identity of the Phoenix Suns?
This is why this Aiton, like, we have to figure out what's going to happen with Aiton. Is he staying or is he going?
Yeah.
And can he mesh
Hmm.
with this
Right.
three-headed monster that they have?
But here's what
That's
I
what.
want to see. I want to see Durant take over that team. I want to see the Durant that we were kind of promised, and he's not really been since he left Oklahoma City. Not to take anything away from his talents, I think you're
You
absolutely
mean?
correct.
I
He
love that
fit
you
in
said Oklahoma.
perfectly.
You mean
Yeah.
Oklahoma Thunder?
Oklahoma City,
You said
Oklahoma
Oklahoma
City
State.
Thunder. Oh, did I say Oklahoma State?
Yeah.
Oklahoma
I
City
was like, hold on. He
Thunder.
went to he went to
Yeah,
Texas.
right. Oklahoma City. When he was the man when he got there, and it didn't matter.
Yes.
He didn't care. Then he went and he. I don't blame him for going to Golden State, and I think when he got to Golden State, he was able to showcase different talents that we didn't realize that he necessarily had, defense and rebounding and things like that. And he never sacrificed his scoring for that. But I think that almost went to his head, and he needed to be the guy that told Kyrie Irving he needed to be on the court in Brooklyn. He needed to be the guy that Draymond Green was for that Golden State Warriors that kept these guys intact. And I think he's just kind of softened a little bit too much
Wow.
for.
You just said KD is soft.
I think KD is soft on the other players around him, and he
Oh
needs to be.
boy.
He needs a little bit more Kobe in him.
If KD becomes a follower of
Mm-hmm.
this,
Yeah, right. Well, he'll
um,
tweet at me. I don't have Twitter.
yeah, he
And
probably yeah
I don't think Elon
because
Musk is able to keep Twitter going. However, Durant will tweet at me if he
yes,
could.
he will. I'm
Yeah.
gonna let you and KD battle this one out. You know, once he like finds out or hears about this segment,
What's his nickname? 7 foot
oh
assassin or something.
boy, here you go. You're
That's the
looking for
Durant I
trouble.
want to see. That's the Durant
All
I want
right,
to see.
okay.
I'm not saying he can't do it. I just haven't seen him do it in a while. And that's the
Okay.
Durant. That's the Durant that this
Listen,
Phoenix
don't
team is going to
please,
need.
please don't backpedal on your statements right now. Now you sound like
Not
Skip
backpedaling.
Bayless or
I'm
something.
not backpedaling. If Durant isn't that guy, then Booker needs the ball in his hands too much, and Bradley Beal needs the ball in his hands too much, and that team has no identity.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
what I see.
So what is what
Anyway,
what's
right?
what's your next topic?
All
Since
right.
you're ranted about KD.
I ranted about KD. We had a conversation a couple weeks ago where we talked about underrated players we thought were underrated, and my guy
Yep.
was Marcus Smart,
Okay.
and Marcus Smart just got traded from Boston to Memphis. So it is going to be interesting. I think adding Porzingis was a great pickup for Boston. It might take some of the scoring load off of a guy like Jalen Brown, who is a fantastic defensive player, and maybe that moves things around, and he can kind of pick up that slack that Marcus Smart is going to leave, the hole that Marcus Smart is going to leave on that team, is what I was thinking. But
Um.
do you
Yeah.
think it made sense
No.
for them to trade away a guy like Marcus Smart?
Well, it makes sense for the Grizzlies to pick him up
Yeah. Hmm.
because I think I believe it was a three-team. Wasn't it like a three-team trade?
Yeah, the Wizards are in there too.
Yeah. So the Grizzlies, phenomenal pickup for them.
Yeah.
Celtics, dumbass move.
You think so?
Yes.
Because we're
Marcus
not that
Smart,
far removed from Durant calling Kristaps Porzingis a unicorn.
I understand. Kristaps Porzingis, like, he's a good player,
Hmm.
but I don't. And again, I'm not like a super professional to be like, is he gonna fit with Jalen Brown and
Hmm.
Jason Tatum? I
Hmm.
don't know. I don't know.
Right.
I really need to see. I can't even. To be honest, I really can't. I don't know if that works.
Right.
I just don't for some reason because Porzingis is not your prototypical 7'1" guy.
No.
Whereas if I had to switch speeds and go back to the Joker,
Hmm.
he can be your 7 foot guy, but he
Right.
knows how to like play that game, if that
He's
makes
bigger.
sense.
Yeah, he's like stronger, so
Yeah,
he can play. Yeah.
he can play the center position, but he can also play the. But I don't think Porzingis can really. Porzingis is more of that like that. Oh man,
Stretch
what do they
four.
call him? Yeah, pretty much. He's like a
Yeah.
stretch. Yeah, he's like a stretch four. He just happens to be really tall.
Yeah.
So you have Jalen Brown, you have Jason Tatum.
Hmm.
These guys, they're not point guards. They're
Right.
they're threes. I mean,
Right.
I look at them as threes.
Yeah. Two
You
threes
know,
somewhere in there. Two three.
so
Durant and Tatum can slide up to four. I think.
so now you have Porzingis, and how are you gonna really? Are you gonna make him like a center now? You
Yeah.
know, if
I
he's
think
like,
he's kind of been playing center the last couple of years.
who would work well in replacement of Porzingis
Hmm.
is Brooke Lopez.
Okay. Yeah.
I would, not that like that trade would ever happen, but I'm saying like
Right.
that's who the
Porzingis is on
Celtics.
another level than
Yeah, he's
Porzingis might
different.
really be more replacing Al Horford, and that's not a bad replacement
It's not a bad no, it's not a bad replacement,
because I
but
think you still got Robert Williams there, and he could be your prototypical five.
so if I'm in Celtics management,
Hmm.
I'm gonna start a Robert Williams. I'm gonna
Hmm.
start a Porzingis at
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have Jay and Jay,
Hmm.
at the 3 and the 2, and
Hmm.
then who's their guard? Is it
But they still got Derek White, right?
yeah, they still have Derek White.
Malcolm Brogdon, I think, is still there
And
technically.
I would start. Yeah, I don't know if I would put Brogdon at the guard though.
Yeah.
I would have Brogdon coming in as a 6 man,
Yeah.
and then I need
Derek
a
White
guard.
started. Yeah.
Who's my guard though?
Not Derek White.
I don't know if I
I mean, at
think I
least to
don't.
start the season, it's not a bad place to start the season.
I mean, no, it's not. It's not.
Yeah.
But that's like how I would do it.
Yeah.
Because now you have a pretty big lineup.
Yeah.
But it's a versatile big lineup. So
Right.
is this versatile big lineup like who can really stop that? You know,
Yeah. I think they got better with Kristaps Porzingis on paper.
but
I
we'll
just think
see. We'll see. We'll
there's something
see
that
how
Marcus Smart
they
does.
implement them.
Yeah.
Implement. I
Right.
honestly think the Grizzlies are gonna be tough.
Grizzlies
You
should be tough,
you got
but let's
two.
see
You
what
got
happens
two
when
two
Morant comes back.
defensive players of the year. Like
Yeah.
recently, defensive
Yeah.
players of the year.
Jared Jackson.
And obviously you got Morant.
Marcus Smart just gives you something on the court that I think you can't quantify with statistics. And if you look, I think at the Celtics season, it kind of came off the rails when he got hurt, and it never really got going again.
Yeah. Okay, I can agree with that.
Yeah. So I
Oh,
think on paper they got better, the Celtics.
when you made your blip about Oklahoma State, I believe.
Yeah.
I want to say Marcus Smart went to Oklahoma State.
He did he go to Oklahoma? No, he went to Oklahoma.
You sure? It was in. It
Yeah,
was.
I think it was a Cowboy. I think he was an Oklahoma Cowboy.
All right. So now maybe I made a blip.
That's all right. You're closer than me. All right, so let's get to the real Chris Paul trade, where the
You're
Golden
wrong.
State.
You're wrong. He did
What?
go. See, I was right. Saying
What?
this is why I should dictate this
Where was I wrong?
conversation.
He went to Oklahoma State.
He did. He played
Oh.
for Oklahoma State Cowboys.
Oh, so I was right about Cowboys. What's Oklahoma? Oklahoma was the Sooners.
Yeah,
I had
they're
the colors
Sooners.
back. I had the colors backwards in my mind.
Yeah. See now. No, see, I had to just Google that real quick.
Yeah. Well, that's going to lead me to something else, but we'll get back to that. I don't think college matters. Let's get back to Chris Paul, CP3's the real CP3 trade, with him going from the Wizards to the Golden State Warriors. What are your thoughts on this trade? Wizards get Jordan Poole.
Yeah. So, hmm, my thoughts. To be honest, this is something like I figured this question would come up.
Hmm.
Not sure how I can answer this because I haven't been able to answer it at all.
Yeah.
A lot of people have asked me. They've asked me my
Mhm.
thoughts. They know I follow basketball. I talk about it.
Right.
I don't know. I
Mhm.
honestly don't know. You got CP3. He's
Mhm.
a traditional, like a veteran. He's a guard. He
He's
is
made every
like
team he's gone to better.
he has. However, they already have a guard
Hmm.
in what's his name?
He only
Wardell
changed the
Wardell
game. Oh yeah, Ordell.
Wardell Curry.
He only
So
changed the game.
so you have a guard, and I don't know. I don't know what's. I don't know. I
Yeah,
really can't answer this question.
but
I'm literally
I
I'm stumped for
know.
words.
Yeah. Do you remember in the second round series, Warriors Lakers? After the first game, I think Dennis Schroeder needed an IV,
Yes, I do
and he
remember.
said that Steph Curry is like the hardest cover in the NBA. And I don't think he's the only person that said that. But Curry moves really well without the ball. He doesn't need the ball in his hands, right? So it's his
Um,
movement that makes him so hard to cover,
but then again, too,
aside from his shot.
do you remember when he had Chris Paul like literally sitting on his ass on the court?
Hmm.
Remember that move?
Right.
He's
Yeah.
made
He's
so
made
it's
people look like
like
fools.
but like he literally dribbled around
Yeah.
the court and Chris
Hmm.
Paul was following him. So
Right. Yeah.
yes, he can play without the ball, but he
Right.
plays better with the ball.
Plays better with the ball.
Pause.
Well,
Pause.
just you said ball singular.
Yeah. But
But so is it his style? Is there going to be a clash in style? Because Chris Paul slows the game
it's
down a little bit.
he slows the game down, and Warriors are a fast paced team. So that's what I
Would
mean.
it would
I
it make
can't.
sense to bring Chris Paul off the bench then?
Oh, but can you bring Chris Paul off the
Can you bring
bench?
Chris Paul off the
You know
bench?
what I
But
mean? That
who then do you put on the bench to put him in the starting lineup?
I mean,
Because it's not Curry,
no,
it's not
no, of
Clay,
course not, of course not. And
and it's
Draymond's
not.
coming back for
Yeah,
what
Draymond's coming
3
back,
years for
and
100, or
Wig.
was it 4 years for 100? 3 years or
I think
4
it's
years for
4
100?
years. I think it's four for 100. Yeah, four for 100 because it's a
So
little bit cheaper per year. But he's
yeah, I
got.
think
It was like
you're right.
27, went to like 25. Yeah.
Correct. So you got the
So what's
this
your starting
other
lineup for
three
the
head.
Warriors? Yeah, and don't forget about Wiggins.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you have Steph,
Mm-hmm.
Clay,
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Wiggins,
Mm-hmm.
Draymond Green, and probably like Looney.
And that's your starting five.
So I mean that is kind of the starting five.
Right.
But
So that's Chris Paul
if
coming off
you
the bench.
well, yeah, but it's not that I want him to come off the bench. I'm not
Right.
saying that
Yeah.
I,
Right. I'm not
but
saying you want him to.
so, but the
Right.
thing is, like, you have these five already.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Let's take Looney out of the equation.
Mm-hmm.
If they
Right.
go a small lineup and you have
Yeah.
Draymond at the five,
Right.
then now it's CP,
Mm-hmm.
Steph,
Mm-hmm.
Clay,
Mm-hmm. Wiggins.
Andrew Wiggins, and then Draymond. But
So
that's a small
then
lineup.
let me ask you, what was the best part about that death lineup in the 2016 to 2020 run or whatever it was, that whenever it ended? But they would go to that
The
small
thing
ball
is,
lineup, Draymond at the five, and what did they do?
with from what I like analyzed and what I watched and what I
Mm-hmm.
saw, it's there were so many interchangeable pieces.
Yeah,
Like you
but
can
they were
bring in
fast.
like an Andre Iguodala,
Mm-hmm.
who's like 6'9",
Leandro
6'10",
Barbosa,
whatever.
who was
Leandro
fast,
Barbosa, yes. You can
fast.
bring in like
Mm-hmm.
all these guys that,
Yeah,
but now they have a whole bunch of young guys on their squad,
right,
and it's like who's going to take the place?
right,
You have Kaminga's great.
right.
I think he's a talented ball player,
Yeah,
but he's coming in to replace like a Clay or a Wiggins,
Yeah.
and you all always need a big guy.
You
Who are
need
their big
somebody
guys? You know,
other than
I,
Looney. I
I'm
don't know.
I'm talking about Looney
Yeah.
and like is Wiseman still there? I don't even know.
No,
He's on the
Wiseman,
Pistons, right?
Detroit. Yeah, Wiseman was part of a trade.
So yeah, he was part. So that's what I mean. Like, so you have Looney, and who else do you have big?
Yeah.
And I think I read an article. They were thinking of possibly having money to sign Sario. I hate to butcher
Dario
his name.
Saric.
Dario.
Dario Saric.
Yeah, see, I said
Yeah, but he's
Sario.
like, I mean, he's not bad. I've seen him play. You know, he was in Philly for a while. I think he was with Phoenix, but he's not a guy that's going to move the needle.
He's not, but you know what?
He's a body.
Think about this. Look at the Bulls. If you watch The Last Dance, think about the Bulls who they had like during their runs. They didn't
Luke,
have
Luke
guys that
Longley,
are they had Luke Longley, Bill
right? Bill
Wennington.
Wennington. Yeah,
Like they had these guys that they don't
they
move the
filled
needle, but
space, right?
they literally had
Dario
three
Saric
guys.
isn't as big as those guys either. Sarge
Yeah,
might be
but
like 6'10", skinny guy.
yeah, that's true.
He's not like a big body that's going to be able to grab you rebounds down
But
low.
the thing is, you don't. There's not too many of those still available.
No, that's true. Right.
I think possibly if he hasn't re-signed, and I think he did, is Kevin Love.
Yeah,
I think he did re-sign though with the.
with the
Did he
Heat.
re-sign with the Heat?
Yeah,
I think he re-signed with the Heat for like a year. But
yeah.
like a guy like that, you bring him in at center. Yeah, that's shaking it up a little bit.
A little bit. He's still
Just
undersized for center.
he is, but the thing is, most centers now. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not looking at Victor because anybody they're gonna
Can
manhandle him.
can they go out and get Boban?
I mean, they probably could.
That's a body.
That's,
Well,
that's
so
just
my
baseball.
question is really, if you're going to go small, the best thing about going small is being fast, and Chris Paul's not. He's not giving you that element of speed.
But I think, and this is where, like I said, it's hard for me to answer this question, like how he
Mhm.
fits and how it works.
Yeah,
But Chris Paul's not like a slow person. It's just his game, like the
he's not that
systems he's
fast.
been in.
Yeah, he doesn't play as fast as his Warriors team would play.
But I'm
Going
telling you right
small.
now, I think once like they figure out like Chris Paul,
Mm,
when you bring up the ball, we're moving it.
right.
I think it's going to work. And to
He
be
he's
honest,
he can be like a point man. You know that they had a guy on their team, and I know you get upset with me when I say that he was a big part of their team. But Andrew Bogut
oh my god,
really was an integral part of that team at times. The
what?
ways
When was he integral?
in what way he kept the ball
Because he
moving.
was just in the middle.
He was in the middle. He was a big guy. His hands were fantastic, and he could move the ball quick. So the kind of the way Jokic plays now, except Jokic is better and does it for longer in a game.
Yeah,
But
Jokic
he
is
had
definitely
great
better.
he had great Bogut had great vision. He had great hands, and he could be a guy in the middle of the court that could catch the ball and hit cutters as they hit the lane on point, and he'd give them 18 to 20 minutes in a game, and he didn't take away from what that team wanted to be. Chris Paul could be the same, except I don't think he's tall enough to see the court the way Bogut saw the court.
First of all, Chris
Not that
Paul,
Chris Paul can't see the
he
court
he
well,
has
but
eyes like on his like
yeah,
kneecaps,
but he's
so
not
he
seeing
sees.
over other guys the way Bogut could,
I'm gonna tell you right
the
now.
way Jokic is.
I hope you're not saying Bogut sees it better than Chris Paul.
No, no, no. I'm saying he sees it differently, and that difference makes him a better fit on the Warriors
I'm gonna say this:
potentially.
if Chris,
Chris Paul
I
can tweet at me.
mean,
We can go out. I'll stand by number
Jesus,
one overall
you
pick
just want to
Andrew
fight.
Bogut.
You want to fight with all these guys, huh?
Andrew
KD,
Bogut
Chris
was a number
Paul.
one overall pick,
Oh God,
and he was better than Anthony Bennett.
where is he at right now?
He's probably retired because he's old.
Oh my!
He's probably like a year younger than Chris Paul.
Yeah, Trust me,
because Chris
Chris
Paul's
Paul's
not
good.
on.
Honestly, I
No.
think if I have to actually make a decision and like make a statement about Chris Paul and the Warriors,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I honestly think they're winning the chip this year.
I don't know about that. I want to see it first.
Wow. Wow. Okay. All right.
So if I had a rank of those trades, Beal to the
Oh,
Suns,
here you go.
Paul to the Warriors, and Kristaps Porzingis to the Celtics, I think Kristaps Porzingis to the Celtics has the best initial fit.
Nope.
I
Not at all.
have I
Not at
have
all.
faith in Chris Paul fitting with the Warriors, but I still want to see it first, and I
Think about
really don't know
this.
what's going to happen in Phoenix.
Kristaps played with Beal in Washington. They could
Mm-hmm.
have been. They could have been a problem. What did they do?
Mm-hmm. Well, the Wizards are trash.
But like I said, Kristaps with Beal,
Mm-hmm.
they could have made that team relevant.
Yeah, but the Wizards aren't trying to be relevant.
I understand what you're saying,
Yeah.
but what I'm telling you is you have at least two of a three-headed super team.
Yeah.
What did they do?
Nothing, because the
Exactly.
Wizards are
So
trash.
why do you think? Why do you think Kristaps is going to make Celtics? That's. I'm going to say right now, that's not
Because
going to
it's
work.
well, first
It's not
first
going to work.
you're kicking Kristaps Porzingis from being a number 2 option to a number 3 option,
It's not
and
going to work.
he's a 7'1" stretch 4 center who can shoot. He's going to cause mismatches on that court, and he's going to give Jaylen Brown, most importantly, the ability to do more on the court than have to be that second scorer, because there's going to be plenty of nights where Porzingis will be the second scorer on
Let
that
me
team.
ask you a question.
I think that's the easiest
Do
fit
we
because he
have to
doesn't play
put?
the same position as anybody else.
Do we have to put like currency on the
We can put currency
table?
in it. Yeah, yeah.
You know,
I'm not. I mean, I don't know how we're going to determine how it's the best fit, but I think
it's not.
going in and
To be
on
honest,
paper,
no,
I know,
not
I know
going to
you
work.
don't think so, but
I know it's
going
not going
in
to work.
on paper,
I'm telling you right now, it's not
Kristaps
going to work.
Porzingis doesn't play the same position as those other two guys. That is
He
immediately an easier fit in my mind than Beal going to play the same position as Booker, who is essentially doing the same things as Durant, just Durant is taller, and Chris Paul, who is the same position as Steph Curry, and trying to figure out how that's going to work. I
I'm
think
telling
that
you
the
right now.
Warriors could be the best of those 3 teams, but I want to see it first.
Okay, you will see it.
Yeah, but I
And
think going in on paper,
here,
Porzingis is going to be the easiest fit on his new
just
team.
send me a picture. If you don't want to give me the cash right away, just send me a picture of
You
your
want me to
card.
send you a picture of cash?
Yeah, or that's fine too.
I'll send you a picture of cash. I don't know
I'll
how we're
pull
going
up.
to determine that it's not a good fit. I mean, if it's
Well,
neutral, you know
this is
what I
how we
mean?
can this is how we can determine it. I'll tell you that right now. Celtics are not they'll probably make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But
They're a number 1 or
they're
number
not
2 seed in
oh
the East,
wow.
easy.
Not happening.
And it depends on what happens with Chris Middleton. They should be the number 1 seed if Middleton leaves the Bucks.
No, I think he resigned.
Did he resign?
I think he did.
Bucks should be the best team. I don't have any faith in the Bucks winning anything.
Wow.
Philly's. What happened to Philly?
Well, I'll tell you right now, the Bucks won't win if they let go of Brook Lopez. That's not happening.
Yeah, well, right. He's not signed right now yet either, right?
Yeah,
So, who in the
and,
East is better than the Celtics?
don't be surprised.
Not saying surprise or not, but if you're looking at paper right now and what they did last season, who do you think the best team in the East is?
Well, the problem is you can't even put any sort of label on any team really because free agency isn't done.
Right.
But I'm
Right
going to
now.
tell you right now. Right now, I mean, right now I could say the Heat.
I don't know about the
if
Heat.
they add Dame Lillard, it's
If
over.
they had Dame Lillard, then it's a different situation.
And
But right
they're
now,
trying to.
Celtics are the best team in the East.
Yeah, Celtics.
Their coach is going to be a year smarter. They are going to be a year older. Those guys are young. Tatum and Brown.
Marcus Smart is literally like the Draymond Green.
Yes,
of the Celtics.
I agree.
And they just literally let the traded or whatever transpired.
But I think on paper,
he is no
Porzingis
longer
is an upgrade.
he is no longer part of that
Right.
that team.
Yes, true.
Marcus Smart, not only did he like,
But are you saying Marcus Smart is a better basketball player than Kristaps Porzingis?
yes,
Oh, that's a hot take.
that could be
Kristaps
a hot
Porzingis can.
take, it could be a
First of
fiery
all,
take.
Kristaps Porzingis can shoot the ball.
You act like Marcus Smart
Second of all,
can't shoot.
no. Marcus Smart can't shoot.
You can't shoot,
No, Marcus Smart, you're lucky to get 12, 13 points of game out of him.
but he doesn't.
He
He
can make shots,
again,
but he's
he's.
incredibly inconsistent at shooting.
But that's like
His shot is so
that's the
herky
same
jerky.
narrative that they gave to Dennis Rodman.
That's
Dennis
fine.
Rodman is
I think Kristaps
he wasn't a
Porzingis is
scorer, but
right.
Dennis Rodman's like his like a career high of like 40 points or something crazy.
Marcus Smart's defense and rebounding don't approach the level of Dennis Rodman defense and rebounding the way Kristaps Porzingis' ability to shoot the ball and change the narrative of what's going on the court. Being
Only thing you're telling me about Porzingis is that he can shoot the ball. That's the only
He
thing you're
can
telling
shoot.
me.
He can rebound. He changes the
He
narrative
can.
on the
Can he
court.
rebound?
Yeah, what did he? He averaged like 8 rebounds last year.
A whole 8. First of all, if you're
Yeah.
7 foot, you should be averaging at least 15.
He averaged 8.4. He averages 8 rebounds a game.
Oh, okay. And you're seven
Right.
foot tall. He is literally like the second or third tallest player in the league.
I think that what he adds to that team is more than what Marcus Smart adds to that team on paper.
Okay. All right. No problem. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to find his number or get his number from somebody, and I'm gonna tell him that his number one fan is Corey.
I'm telling you, Durant might be his number one fan. Durant has him as a unicorn.
Yeah, he does. All right, but we're
Yeah.
still talking about you.
Right.
You really believe Porzingis is gonna make Celtics like the champions?
No, what I said is
And
he
they're
makes
not.
better than I said on paper. He makes him a better team than Marcus
Not
Smart.
at all.
That's
Not
exactly
at all.
all I'm saying.
That's literally, to be honest, Marcus Smart is gonna make the Grizzlies amazing. And they were
Marcus
what?
Smart is
What were
going
they?
to buy
What
them
did they?
25 games.
Yeah, and then Ja Morant comes back after his little 25
Right.
game suspension,
hmm
and now they just take over.
I'd like to see it. I'm not sure that's what's going to happen. I think it's going to be a
Okay.
disaster in Memphis this year.
Wow, disaster! They got rid of one of the disasters, and I'm shocked that he got such a huge contract. Did you hear about Dylan Brooks?
Yeah, somebody was going after him. Who got
Yeah.
him? Where'd he end up?
Was it the Rockets? No, I don't even remember. All I know is I just heard he got like 4 years, 80 or something like that, and I was like,
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah, I saw somebody had him on the radar, but
It might have
he's
been the
he's not a
Rockets.
bad
The
player.
Rockets made a splash. It might have been the Rockets. I'm not
Could be the
sure,
Rockets.
but they made a splash in this little free agency.
Yeah.
They grabbed some people. They might be on the low. They might be going from like the worst team to
Well, they got the coach,
playoff
right?
team.
So then let me ask you, what do you think was the most underrated move so far of the trade season
I don't know if I
or
can
free agency season?
the most underrated. When you say underrated move, like the move that
Move
put
that you
out there that
no move that people aren't really paying a lot of attention to, but could involve a player that you think is good, but that doesn't really make the average fans list of good players. So I can give you a couple examples of what I think could be.
I'm going to tell you right now. I've been talking about him all like with this. Like you got me fired up about Porzingis. I'm going to say Marcus Smart.
Marcus Smart. You think that was underrated? Memphis picking up Marcus Smart.
Yeah,
that could be.
That move is going to be huge.
It could be. It could be. If Marcus Smart can still be the same player in Memphis that he was with Boston,
he's going to be. He's going to be.
Sometimes guys move around and they're not always the same.
Okay.
Sometimes like Draymond Green, if he was on another team other than the Warriors, I think sometimes there's a
that's
fit.
Different.
And so now, that's what that's my fear with Marcus Smart.
He reminds me of remember Tony Allen.
Tony Allen? Yeah, Marcus Smart I think is a better player than Tony Allen.
No, I'm not saying that, but
Yeah,
he has that same
yeah,
like that pedigree,
defensive
if that makes
mindset.
sense,
Yeah,
And like Tony Allen changes a team's dynamic because he was on the Celtics,
yeah, he was, and
I
he was on
believe, and
Memphis.
then yeah, I believe he went to Memphis as
And
well.
he went to
So
Memphis, right?
it's like he reminds me of him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that might be the most. I'll say right now underrated.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Underrated.
maybe next week if I see something else.
Yeah, but
Um,
here's some things I think that aren't that we haven't talked about at least is Kenyon Martin Jr. went to the Clippers. I think he had been a good player in Houston.
yes,
Obi Toppin went to the Pacers.
yes, I heard about that. I
Right,
heard
that
about
happened
that.
today.
Did you hear the Knicks
Um,
signed his brother?
oh, did they sign his brother?
They
No, I
signed his
didn't see
brother
that.
like
Yeah.
last week or something,
And then they traded him away.
and they apparently him and Thibodeau like had some sort of not an altercation, but they had some sort of
Well,
we'll
Thibodeau
say
likes to. Yeah.
disagreement.
Thibodeau likes to play his starters heavy minutes, and he was unwilling to play Topin and Randall together, and so there was no minutes for Topin. And Thibodeau pretty much just said Randall's a better player than Thibodeau. Randall is a better player than Topin, and that's all he had to say about that,
You know
which
what?
might be true,
My
but that doesn't mean that Topin
second,
should have had more minutes.
I'm gonna say this: Topin,
Mm-hmm.
if depending on, I really haven't been able to gauge Indiana's like their style of play and everything.
Yeah,
Topin is highly, I guess, unregarded. If
yeah,
he's in the right system, he can be a superstar. You heard it here
he's
from
super
me
athletic.
first.
He could be. He's super athletic. He was
I'm telling you,
explosive at the end of last season.
you
Yeah,
heard from me first.
yeah.
Obi Topin. He was my
Mhm.
guy coming out of. I believe he went to Dayton,
I think he went to Dayton. Yeah,
and then when the Knicks drafted him, I said, "Oh shit,
Mhm.
this is gonna be a problem."
Right.
But it just didn't. It
He just
didn't
never got
work.
minutes. He just didn't
Yeah,
get minutes. If he
yeah.
got minutes, I
So
think we would look at him differently.
I'm telling you, listen.
He just didn't get minutes.
I'm telling you right now, Obi Topin.
Yeah. I think another underrated move was the Heat sending Oladipo to the Thunder to potentially get Damian Lillard.
Oh, yeah, they just did that to just clear like
Yeah.
money.
If they
Um,
get if they can work a deal for Lillard, I think that is that's an underrated that's a move that a team makes that nobody talks about that allows them to do the big splash kind of move.
yes. Yeah. Okay. All right.
And Utah, I think Utah picking
I'll
up
agree
John
with you
Collins.
with one
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Oh, John Collins. That's my
yeah.
guy too.
I like
Oh
John Collins.
man, I
Yeah,
like John Collins a lot.
right.
Like he's a solid player, bro.
Yeah,
He gets busy in the paint. I
yeah.
love it. I think episode 2 of all these moves,
Hmm.
then I can tell you who's the most maybe the most underrated move, but
Yeah.
like I said, right now I'm sticking
Hmm.
with Marcus Smart.
Marcus Smart being
Yeah.
underrated, the
That's my
underrated
guy.
move.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's my guy. That's a
yeah.
perfect move for the Grizzlies.
That's a good move for the Grizzlies. They needed to do something. I am a Marcus Smart fan, despite the fact
Yeah.
that I think Porzingis is the better player.
Oh my god. All right.
That
let
works.
me see if I can like figure out his phone number so I can text him. I'm gonna
Hey,
tell him to call you.
Marcus Smart can tweet at me also. We can get a whole Twitter
Oh
war with
Jesus Christmas! Here you go.
all the
Here
floppers in
you
the
go.
NBA.
Yeah, these guys, they're gonna come for you.
You want to talk about the draft for a quick minute? You
Um,
got any thoughts on the draft? You got any
to be honest, like
mhm,
I came home to it
mhm.
and I just wanted to find out who got drafted like the first 5.
Right.
That
You got
was
any? Yeah.
literally,
Well, Wembayana, that was a big name, right?
yeah, I guess.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was
people
kind
are
of big,
pretty high
but
on him. People are pretty high on him.
everybody knew he was getting drafted first. I
Yeah,
mean,
everybody knew he was getting drafted first. But he's out of France, right?
he is out
And
of France.
then
He actually,
Rand.
if you do research, he has a he took a picture, or he has a picture of him like as a really young child
Mm-hmm.
wearing a Tony Parker
Oh yeah,
jersey.
that's pretty cool.
it's
I
like
guess he'll
kind of
play
somewhat ironic because
right
Tony Parker's from France,
French.
and he
Played for the
acts in the
Spurs.
Spurs. But yeah, so it's
Yeah.
like somewhat
There's
ironic.
a good picture of Wembayana. I think it's Tim Duncan. Sean
I
Elliott, I think,
saw it.
was in
Yeah,
it, but
Sean
he
Elliott
just
was there,
towers over.
and
Yeah,
yeah, Manu was in that picture. Yeah,
yeah, he just like
he
towers
looks.
over them
Yeah,
all.
he literally looks like
Yeah.
he's the dad, and they're the kids.
He makes everybody else look like they're two guards.
Yeah,
Like
no,
he
pretty
makes Tim
much.
Duncan look like a two guard.
Yeah, Tim. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember Tim Duncan. It was Tim
Yeah.
Duncan, Manu, David Robinson,
David Robinson, yeah,
and
and Sean Elliott.
Sean Elliott.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I was
he
I
really makes those guys look like
I literally was
they're
looking
the
at that picture.
starting guards.
I was like, are these guys even like close to 7 foot? I
Yeah,
said, what the
right,
hell's going on?
right. So it'll be. I'm interested to watch him play with these NBA guys. I've
I,
seen some of his highlights.
I'll tell you right
He's
now.
talented.
I'll tell you
Hmm.
right now. Talent's there.
Hmm.
It's just about the
Strength.
physicality.
Yeah. Hmm.
He's gonna have to get his weight up.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but
But like,
hopefully,
to your point earlier, there's not these guys banging around in there the way they used to be.
yes and no. But my thing is too is like when he starts to get his weight up,
Hmm.
hopefully it doesn't affect his body because
Right.
the taller you are, like you tend to have a lot more knee issues than if you're
Yeah.
6 foot.
Foot issues.
Yeah, like knee,
Right.
foot, yeah, all that. So
Hmm.
we'll see how that plays out.
But getting back to the draft, I'm looking at the top 7 picks, and 5 of them are not from the NCAA. So you got 2 guys from France and 3 guys from the G League. Then you got Brandon Miller at 2 and Anthony Black at 6. And those are the only 2 players to play in the NCAA this year.
Yeah, and Brand.
Does the NBA owe its fans an opportunity to see at least these G League games more throughout the year?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Because the one good thing about the G League is, say if you're talented enough, I'm pretty sure, like, say if you come out of high school, how they have that 1 year removed.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that you can jump into the G, like
You can go to the G League.
you can go to G League and
You can
play.
do your 1 year in the G
So
League. Yeah.
so yes, they do
Right.
owe the fans that
Do,
unless they
do
make a change
right.
with
Do
the rule,
you think, and then
and
they can go right to the NBA? Yeah.
that's supposed to happen.
It could happen, I guess. Do you think that these kids that are coming out of the G League are going to be better prepared for the NBA than the NCAA will be able to prepare them?
No, not necessarily.
Because they're good. They're playing against adults. They're
They
not
are,
playing against other college kids.
yeah,
Do you
but
think just the competition itself will better prepare them?
look at this. So I think I'm going to use this school as a reference, Villanova.
Hmm. Hmm.
So they have 3 people on the Knicks that played multiple years in
Hmm.
college, and
3
they're
people or
balling
2 people?
and they're
I
getting
think 2.
money.
Yeah.
So you got Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, and
Hart.
then they
Hmm.
just signed Dante
Oh,
DiVincenzo.
they signed DiVincenzo? Okay.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean these guys they played multiple years,
Hmm.
and obviously they're getting rewarded handsomely
Yeah.
for it,
Right.
and they're balling. Look at Brunson's killing it.
Brunson and Hart have
Hart,
really had
yeah,
good careers.
and DiVincenzo's not. To be honest,
DiVincenzo's had a good career too.
I would say
I
this.
think he's got a championship, if not 2.
Yeah, but I would say this:
Hmm.
if if he didn't stay on Nova, like for as long as he did, and like win with them what he did,
Hmm.
yeah, there would be no career for him
Right.
if he tried to come out or something early. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He needed that, and he has that whole
Hmm.
that like experience, that pedigree.
But that does. You don't think they can get that experience in the G League, playing against bigger guys,
I mean,
older
I'm not
guys,
saying that they
stronger guys?
can't. I'm not saying that they can't. Like, say if you
Hmm.
come out of high school and you go to the G League or something like that, I'm not saying that they
Yeah.
can't, but
Hmm.
you need a couple years. I'm gonna say right now, you need a couple years. Like,
So regardless of where they play, you think they need to be somewhere for multiple years before going to the NBA?
I I need at least me personally. What I
Mm.
think is at least 2 years removed from high school
Okay. So
to
do you think they should go to college for 2 years or the G League for two
yeah.
years?
I think at least 2 years.
Hmm.
Again, this is an argument that can go on for so long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, Athletically, some of these kids, yes, they can come out of high school and go to the league.
Hmm.
I'm not saying they can, but
Right.
I think 2 years gives them a lot more longevity,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of guys that came out,
Well, there's a lot of
and
guys that went 4 years and had no longevity also.
correct, yeah, no, of course,
Because
there's
sometimes those guys come out after 4 years and they can make an impact right away, but that impact is shortened. And then when
yeah,
those other kids that came out in the same class but maybe were 2 years, 3 years younger, they've caught up now, and the league is has kind of pushed them out. I'm thinking of he was on the Knicks. Was it not Doug Christie? Jeremy, no, Landry. He was on the Knicks when
yeah,
Insanity was going off, and he was a 4 year player in Stanford, I think.
yeah,
Landry Fields. Landry Fields.
Landry Fields, yeah, I remember
Yeah,
him.
and he came in and he was great for the Knicks for a season or two, but
But my thing
he
is
didn't have
this.
the same kind of impact that other guys that
So
came out in that class did afterwards.
I literally had a conversation about you know, cats coming out of high school and playing in the league. And I was
Hmm.
like, yeah, there's been a ton of, I mean, a decent amount that have been super successful. Look at
Hmm.
Kobe Bryant, Kevin Garnett. The list goes on, but
LeBron James.
yeah, I guess yeah, you could put him in there. Yeah, I don't like to talk about him. But
Right.
anyways, but then
Hmm.
there's been busts too. I mean, and,
Been a
and
lot
I
more
won't say
busts.
I
Yeah,
won't say bust, but like people that they just weren't able
they're
to
busts.
look at
They weren't. Well, yeah.
Darius
Yeah.
Miles.
There's Miles. Was Sebastian
Um,
Telfair? Did he come straight from college, high school?
Sebastian Telfair. Yeah, I want to say yes, he did.
Yeah.
He has the talent, but he's just
Right.
more of a problem child.
Yeah. What about like Kwame Brown?
Oh my god.
Was he a high school?
I believe he was, and that
Yeah.
was like one of the worst decisions Michael Jordan
Mm-hmm.
ever made to take him. But
Right.
so that's what I
Mm-hmm.
mean. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
certain people can, certain
Mm-hmm.
people can't. You
Yeah.
know,
But Dwight Howard,
yeah,
he's
and he did his
he's
thing, and he's
yeah.
still he's still hooping right now.
Is he in China now?
Yeah, he's in China, but
Eddie
listen, I'm not
Curry
mad
was
at
Eddie
him.
Curry.
Eddie Curry, yes, was another one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he did his thing for a while. Not everyone is
Mm-hmm.
built, and I feel like the
Right.
percentage is better if you
Mm-hmm.
stay in school. You know,
Yes,
let's
that's
see,
true.
let's see if Brandon Miller, right? Is that his
Mm-hmm.
name, Brandon Miller?
Brandon Miller.
Yeah. So let's see how he's very talented.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Yeah.
obviously he went to school for 1 year.
Right.
But let's see how he does, because I
Yeah.
watched him. I think he's thinner than me, to be honest.
Yeah.
We
He's
might be like the same height. He might be a little bit taller than me, but he's like, I feel like I heard his stats, and I'm like, okay, you know. But
right.
he's very talented. I mean,
Yeah.
I watched him in college. I'm like, so it's like, all right, he played a year in college. He did his thing.
How tall are
Maybe
you?
I am 6'6".
Yeah. Brandon Miller's 6'9",
Yeah, okay. So yeah, he's a little bit taller.
201 pounds.
201. Okay. So yeah, I'm tipping the scale at should I even put it out there? Maybe like
You can if you want. I
I'm
wasn't
like
gonna make you put it.
yeah, I'm not really gonna put it out there, but I'm more I weigh more
You
than
also
Brandon
what? You
Miller.
also what? A 42-year-old man? 43?
Okay, all
40,
right. 42 and stop putting
42.
all my shit on blast right now.
No, I didn't tell him how heavy. But you're different. You're a different person at 42 than you are at 19.
Correct,
Body,
which is true.
body, body
Yeah.
physiology.
I'll tell you right now, my playing
Yeah.
weight, I think I was like 223.
Yeah.
So
Brandon Miller's he's a twig.
Yeah, so it's like obviously he's gonna have nutritionists, all these specialists,
Yeah,
and like around him,
right.
so he's gonna
Mm,
gain some weight. But
yeah,
the one good thing is he did play. At least he played 1 year in college to see
yeah.
what it's like removed from high school. High
So
school,
you still think a year in college is better than a year in the G League?
yes, I do believe so.
Interesting.
I do believe so.
I think for
But
I think it
but the
definitely
thing
gets your
is,
name out there better.
what my thing like it does. If
Yeah.
you go to the right school and you end up in the tournament, people gonna
Hmm.
know who you are if you're a baller.
Right. You
But
get
my
some
but
yeah
my thing is
screen time.
you need like I'm not a fan of these high school kids going straight to the league. It's gonna
But
sound
what about
crazy.
but to the G League also? You don't think
I mean they
because I
can't
think
no.
because
I mean
yeah
yeah, they
because I'm
can.
putting in my mind I have G League and college on the same path to the league. Not like if you're coming out of high school and you're going to the G League, I don't see that as going to the same as a high school kid going to the NBA.
Yeah.
The
Eh.
different the difference is that you I don't know what they get paid, but you get I think it might be better to get paid a little bit before you get a lot. And you kind of learn how to live your life on
G League
some
pay
form of a
is
G League
G
pay
League pay is
before you get
not
that NBA money.
it's not really right.
No, but
You
that's my
might as well
point.
go
My point
work
is,
like
my point is that
uh
you learn how to budget on not NBA money before they just give you NBA money out of where you never had to figure out like how you're going to pay rent or how you're going to buy your next meal. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, no, I agree.
Instead of
I
just giving
understand.
somebody lottery money at 18 years old.
Yeah, no, I
That
understand.
might be
But like
beneficial, but that wasn't what I was thinking. Yeah.
my thing is I think these guys need I'd rather them go to college for 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, or at least if you do go to G League
Yeah.
or you go
Because
overseas,
yeah.
at
I,
least get 2 years of that before
yeah.
you jump in.
But I feel
I
like going to the G League kind of gives them a taste of adult life before they're gonna be like NBA adults.
okay, yeah,
Whereas
all right.
if you go to college, and maybe just coaching, you're going to get NBA coaching, you're going to get NBA players that you're playing against.
But then again, too, I mean,
That it could
say if
prepare
you go
you
to
better for the
Memphis,
league. Mm-hmm.
who's the coach of Memphis?
Penny Hardaway.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
if you go to Memphis for 2 years,
Yeah, but
you're
you're still
technically
yeah
getting an NBA vet,
yeah.
and
No,
a
that's true.
renowned one that's
That's
coaching you.
true.
So
That's true.
you know,
It's just I'm trying to figure out whether or not I think that the G League is the better route to go,
I'm not
or
hating on. I
is
love
it
the G League.
yeah is it gonna be as we move on and more kids go to the G League
I would
that it's not there yet.
rather like kids like say if you get on you're not drafted and you want to move whatever. I
Mm,
want them to get picked up in the G League because then that
yeah,
gives you the opportunity to possibly get to the league.
right.
I know
Yeah,
players that played in the G League that had the opportunity to play in the NBA.
yeah,
So
right.
and that's the same way with hockey and
Mm. Well, minor league
baseball.
baseball. Yeah,
Yeah,
right, right.
I've seen all these little farm teams or whatever they're called, all these
Mm.
cats, and then they're like, oh yeah, I got like so where I was situated living before here in
Yeah.
Pennsylvania.
Mm.
Right now they're called the Lehigh Valley. I forget exactly what they're called, but
That's okay.
I've seen players play on
Mm.
the Phillies, and I've seen Phillies players that have been hurt that play on that team. You know
Oh
what I mean?
yeah,
So
because you'd rehab and you'd go through those teams.
yeah, so it's
Yeah,
like I want to see them picking up more guys.
yeah. We haven't really had a star come out of the G League yet.
Um,
Not, I mean, go from high school to the G League to the NBA,
no, yeah, I don't think that's
right?
happened. No,
Like we haven't had
I don't
somebody who
believe
went to the
so.
G League, then got drafted,
Well,
then became.
I'm gonna do my research.
Yeah.
That'll
I
be
mean,
on our next.
Jalen Green, I think was last year's guy. He had a pretty good season.
Yeah, well, he's tough. Yeah,
Yeah, but it'll be interesting. Now we got the Scoot Henderson is supposed to be pretty good,
yeah, and then you got them twins, right? Did they
and then
play
you
in the
got the
G League?
twins.
Yeah,
Yeah, and they're coming out of the G League. So we could start seeing more guys coming out of the G League, which would give it the credibility it might need for other kids to start going. I don't
Yeah.
think that you're ever going to see anything overtake March Madness as like for the fans.
And that's another thing too. Like I said, when I named off these 3 guys are on the Knicks from this Villanova team.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Like
Mm-hmm.
if they went to the G League, maybe they never even get a chance to get pulled
They
up.
might not even get to the NBA, right?
But they played in college for a couple amount of years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if not 3 to 4, and they were on a national level winning a chip.
Right.
I don't believe these guys from this team get that opportunity.
No, you might be right.
Like,
you're probably right.
You know, if they just went to the G League or something, you know what I mean, or
you're
overseas,
right.
you know what I mean. So
you're probably right.
You know, I love seeing these guys go to like play college ball. You know what I mean? That's how you get to know who they are.
It is. It's true.
Yeah.
And March Madness is going to always be the premier event.
Yeah, always, all
right.
day long.
Yeah, you know, not that Curry wouldn't be who he is without his run in the NBA in the tournament, but his 2 runs in the tournament were so much fun to watch that you become vested in watching his career.
Correct.
Carmelo Anthony had a great run in the tournament.
Yeah, one year in Syracuse.
Yeah, but some of the best moments are made in that tournament.
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah,
they really are.
And I don't think you could recreate that with the G League.
No, I mean, I'm not saying no. You really can't. You can't.
No, it's that one and done format that you don't. You see the one shining moments or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep. I agree.
That's all about all I got. I don't know if you got any other takeaways from the last couple of weeks in the NBA.
I feel like you're going to bring up Porzingis again, and I'm just going to have to end up clicking on you or something, like hanging up the phone type of thing. All right. Well,
thank God we have an edit button.
Yeah. Thank goodness we do have an edit button. So no, I think it was a great conversation.
That was a good one.
Besides a certain particular, like you say, hot take.
Porzingis rant.
Oh my God. I'm gonna buy you a jersey. I'm gonna buy you a Porzingis jersey.
I have to.
Of course you do. I'm sure you do.
I need to go out and get a third one now.
Oh my God. I'm gonna buy you a Marcus Smart jersey so you understand. And I'm gonna send like a whole packet of Smart Water to your house as well. Because you're like, okay, no, it makes sense.
They do like Smart Water.
You're not. All right. This is where I leave you. All right. This is where I sign off. I'm gonna pull like a Molly Karam on a First Take or something, and I'm gonna sign off. All right.
We can sign off right there. We don't need to keep going.